Hi, Morty.
Hey, Bitzalel, what time is it?
Hear us?
Hey, kids.
No.
What time is it?
Time for
Hey, Yossi, there you go. That's better. Labe, I missed you on that one.
He was
That was a
here.
nice tune, but I missed Labe on that. The story for tonight, maybe we missed. Hey, kids, what time is it? It's time for Gezintahait.
I don't know. We did that already.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it, but I just want to make sure we did it right. Now, the story for tonight, I'm going to tell this story with two different teachings that's going to add up to the same teaching, but two different angles on the same story. And the story is called Half a Desire. Our Rebbe heard a story from the previous Rebbe about the Tzemach Tzedek that happened about 1845. That year, a whole bunch of guests came to Lubavitch. They came to the Tzemach Tzedek to get a private audience. The Tzemach Tzedek invited the elder Hasidim to Fabring in his office. And he said a very strong l'chaim there. He left his room. He entered the main hall. He jumped on a couch and then onto a table. And he said in a loud voice, "What's the difference to me if I have a half of a desire or a whole desire? But I have to have at least a half a desire." Then he jumped down and he danced in a circle with the Hasidim. When the dance finished, the Tzemach Tzedek jumped back on the table and he said a quote from King David, "My heart is empty within me." He meant that even though half a desire is acceptable, his own level was the level of wholehearted devotion to Hashem. And his service was a whole desire. The sages explain that King David had fasted so much that he killed his evil impulse. That's what he meant when he said his heart is empty. The word empty in Hebrew has the same numerical equivalent as the word life. When King David killed his impulse through fasting, he was able to start a new life, a wholehearted service to Hashem. In serving Hashem, when we dedicate our desire to Hashem, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to sacrifice our body. It just means sacrificing a single personal desire in favor of service to Hashem. That's what we mean by half a desire. Really, I have all my worldly desires, but I take one and I push it off and I don't indulge myself because I'm serving Hashem, and that's called a half a desire. In Tanya, it says that the people who learn Torah all day would postpone their lunch for an hour. They would continue learning Torah for that hour. They were denying their desire to eat for an hour. Now, after that hour, they went and ate their lunch, and then they returned to learning. So what did they add? They could have learned until 12 and eaten and come back to learn. No, instead they learned till 1 and then came back to eat at 2 o'clock. A person could say, what good is it to have one small half a desire for Hashem? Well, I have so many alien desires. The Tzemach Tzedek answers that when we start with half a desire, right, Marvin? A person can and will, not only he can, he will eventually nullify all alien desires until he has perfected his service to Hashem. That's what it says, my heart is empty within me. So what we're learning here is that if we just take one thing, one physical desire, and we push it away, it will finally bring us to a wholehearted service of Hashem. The reason is that a desire has an effect on the soul itself. And the Rebbe told the story of a person who escaped from danger through a place that was too narrow for him to fit. But his desire was so strong to escape, he was able to fit. Now, I don't know if this is the story the Rebbe is talking about, but Mrs. Reichek, Aliyah Sholem, told the story about Rabbi Reichek that one time he was arrested in Europe and he was able to squeeze through the bars of the jail cell and got out and escaped. It enabled him to compress his body so that it fit through that narrow opening. That's how strong a desire could be. And from a half a desire, a person will eventually reach the level of serving Hashem with a whole heart. His heart will then be void within him, and he'll start a new life. Now that's one angle of explaining the teaching of that story. Now we have the same story, the Tzemach Tzedek, Sedel L'Chaim, with the older Hasidim, and he went out of his office and he jumped on a couch and onto a table, and he said, what do I care if I only have half a desire? And then he danced with the Hasidim, and then he said, when one achieves a desire, it changes his life. His life becomes sweet and full of pleasure. It means when a person achieves a whole desire for Hashem, his life becomes sweet and full of pleasure. A Rebbe says that these two levels of desire, the half a desire and the full desire, are parallel to two levels in the Jewish person. There's a level of Jacob and the level of Israel. Everybody knows that Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So there's the level of Jacob, there's the level of Israel. The level of Jacob is the level of half a desire. The level of Israel is the level of a full desire. When a Jew serves on the level of Jacob, he's at war. He's warring with his evil impulse. That's called half a desire. Not so when one serves at the level of Yisro, he has a complete desire only for Hashem. And that level of Yisro is what the Tzemach Tzedek was talking about when he says when a person achieves his desire, his life changes to a life filled with pleasure. And according to what we're learning, it is possible to reach that level through starting with a half a desire. One who serves on the level of Jacob, on the other hand, serves and fights in a dangerous war. Nevertheless, since he is an actual piece of Hashem, this Jewish soul is a piece of God, he will surely be victorious. And this knowledge that he will finally be successful in victory will add happiness for him in his service to Hashem. And that joy actually brings him victory through his alacrity in pursuing the battle. As the previous Rebbe said, that a soldier who goes to war with a victory march magnifies the certainty of victorious outcome. Do we have a niggin, a victory march?
Bitzalel.
Yes, Marvin. I'm listening. What do you say, Marvin?
I have to desire looking us to play a song.
Okay. Hit it, boys. Morty.
Populous country. After trying to get both of them to have a billion to a billion and a half. I'm wondering, why, billion have them to 300 billion? Why is there a country that's 700 billion, right? Nothing in between billions and us.
Lay, boy, are you in on this
You were on.
Nickelodeon?
But it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
We played it for them. Now we can do Carlo. Okay.
Okay. Lately, we have been speaking about how Hashem manifests himself and his attributes.
Bitzalel.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention something.
Oh,
That is that the niggin they just played, it was sung many times by the Rebbe.
yes.
It was written by Rabbi Dr. Abram Tversky, who went to the world of truth this week. So that was a wonderful tribute by the Gezintahait Street Meshuggahs over there. It was a wonderful tribute to the life and the work of Rabbi Dr. Tversky.
And you're right. And that's exactly why we did that niggin. And that's why we pay you the big bucks, Marvin, because I forgot to mention it.
That's how I was able to pay for this golden crown, Bitzalel.
I got you. Thank you very much. Rabbi Tversky was a great guy. Lately, we have been speaking about how Hashem manifests himself and his attributes through names. In fact, the whole second book of the Torah, of the Chumash, the second one of those 5 books, in which our Parsha of Yisro is part of that second book, is included of the title called Names. We're in the book that is generally titled Names, not numbers as they would have it in English and Greek. The name of this book we're learning is Names. Hashem says, you want to know my name? I'm called according to my deeds. I have the name Elohim when I'm judging. When I make war, I'm called Tzibaoth. And when I have mercy, I'm called Havaya. So the names are according to the actions that Hashem does. But when you call Hashem by one of these names, it's he himself who turns to you. It's not some kind of reflection of Hashem, even though the name is according to a reflection, but the one who turns to you is the one whose name you are calling. Tonight, we're going to discuss the name Anochi, which means I in Egyptian. And Hashem calls himself Anochi when he gives us the 10 Commandments. But it's not a name. I is not a name that another person calls you when you turn to him. If the other person says I, you're not calling to him, you're talking about yourself. But here Hashem calls himself with the name I. And that name indicates that he's higher and removed, a level that can't be captured through letters or signs. And it's the first word of the 10 Commandments. I, Anochi, I, Hashem says, took you out of bondage of Egypt to be your God. Higher than separations into details at all, I, who I am, separate from any kind of outflow, higher than any hint or sign. I, this level of I of Hashem, does not interact with that which needs a sign. It's completely out of the bounds of any connection to anything outside of the one who calls himself I. Nevertheless, the purpose of our service is to bring down this Anochi, this I of Hashem, into the name Havaya. And that level of the name Havaya will connect Hashem to us to be our God Elokecha. Our parsha that we're learning this week, the chapter of the Torah, is called Yisro. And Yisro embodies the superiority of light that comes from dark. And through his bringing light from dark, he was the chief idol worshiper. His title was Yisro, Kohen Midian. He was the priest of Midian, the high priest of idol worship, the darkest of the dark. But when he heard about the miracles that Hashem did for the Jews at the splitting of the sea and the war with Amalek, he changed his life from the dark of complete idol worship to turning to Hashem. Marvin, you could also accomplish it. The one God. And he actually converted to become a Jew. And the superiority of that light from the darkness of idol worship to the light of serving God, was manifest in the Torah chapter in which we have the Ten Commandments. And that chapter is named for Yisro, the chief idol worshiper, who turned his life around by accepting Hashem. Yisro is a construct of the Hebrew word for addition. He added a parsha in the Torah. And what a parsha. It's the parsha where we got the Ten Commandments, where Hashem gave us the Torah. There you have the light that comes from dark. But we can view Yisro from a superior level. We don't have to view him from the low level of serving idol worship and then turning to Hashem. His superior level, and we have to know that Hashem created everything with its opposite corollary. Marvin, you have a Marvin of holiness. All you have to do is reveal it.
Oh, I think pretty
And
similar.
by coming to Gezintahait Street, you're actually doing it.
Yeah, you know the parsha about Gezintahait Street, they're gonna call it Parshas Marvin.
Yeah. Every entity in the world, even things that are opposite of good and holy, have a source above in holiness. Like the source of Paro, King Paro, the king of the Egyptians, is a level at which all the godly lights burst forth. Paro is the same root as bursting forth. It's the revelation, the holy level of Pharaoh is the revelation of Hashem's essence, where all the lights, even those usually hidden, are revealed with intense strength. They burst forth without any limitations, the lights of holiness. So just like Yisro, the high priest of evil and idol worship, there was a Yisro of holiness. And the superiority of light from dark through Yisro can be viewed on a supernal level. Not on the level that he was a dark idol worshiper and he turned to God. No. On a holy level, like it says, now Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, the chieftain of Midian, heard all that Elohim, the Lord, had done for Moses and for Israel, his people. That Havaya, at first, he heard that everything that Elohim, that the Lord did for the people Israel, and now he used a new name, that Havaya, Hashem, had taken Israel out of Egypt. What's Egypt on the holy level? How do you have Egypt on the holy level? Egypt means constraints. It means hidingness. And on the supernal godly level, that equals the level of the godly crown which limits infinite revelation of godly light. Because if there would be infinite revelation, there wouldn't be nothing else. It would only be infinite revelation. So in order for Hashem to connect with us, he has to hide that infinite light. Now here in this, what Yisro said, that he heard that Elohim took the Jews out through Havaya. And these are two names that we said are names of Hashem in the Midrash, Hashem, names of Hashem through which he'll turn to us. But here in the holy level, the name Elohim, which is a name of hiding, indicates the essential hiddenness of Hashem, that Hashem is essentially hidden. And that's the supernal crown called Keser Elyon, the supernal crown, which indicates hiddenness, a non-revealed level of godliness. That's the name Elohim, the name Lord. And that's Egypt of the holy side, hiding and constraining the light. It means a non-revelation of the infinite. And what came out from that non-revelation of the infinite? The name Havaya. I'm going to share that now on the screen. Okay, these are the letters of the name Havaya, the name that we don't say, the ineffable name. And it indicates the superiority of light that comes from the dark. Because before you had this name Havaya, there was no revelation of godliness at all. Now, through this name Havaya, there could be a revelation of godliness. In the level of non-revelation, it says that Hashem hides himself in the dark. That's the holy level of the name Elohim, the hiding level. Like it says, Yisro heard everything that Elohim did. What did he do? From the hidden level of Elohim, all the spheros of the name Havaya emerged. The spheros means the 10 spheros, and the name Havaya encompasses those 10 spheros. You have the Yud accomplishes wisdom, Chachma, and the Hey encompasses Bina, understanding, and the Vav encompasses, the Vav stands for the number 6, and it encompasses the 6 emotion attributes of God, and the Hey encompasses Malchus, which is thought and speech, which is able to bring out a world. So you have here the 10 spheros of Atzilus. The Yud and the Hey is 2. The Vav is 6, is 8. And the Hey is 9. But the connection between all of them will be the 10th one called Das. So through Elohim, the hidden level of godliness, through the holy level of Yisro, he was able, from the hidden level of godliness, from the supernal hidden crown, to reveal the name Havaya, that Havaya took you out. And that particular level in the supernal crown, have patience, we'll explain it. The particular level in the supernal crown, you see in the Yud, there's a thorn that goes up from that Yud. That connects to the supernal crown, which is not revealed at all. But that's where these 4 letters come out from. And it's called the hidden wisdom of the godly desire for the world of Atzilus. Hashem has a desire that these 10 spheres of Atzilus should be revealed, starting with the level of wisdom, starting with the Yud. And his godly desire is in this hidden level of the godly crown, which in the holy level of Yisro, we're calling the name Elohim. This is the name Havaya, who took them out. The 10 spheres came out. From where? From the hidden level of Elohim, the Lord. And dressed in that hidden desire is the Gevura of Atik Yomin, the holding back power of the Holy Ancient One. Because in order to have a revelation, you have to have a holding back first of the infinite. Hashem has a delight in revealing these 10 spheres because he wants to connect with us, and he does it through this name. But in order to accomplish it, that delight is expressed through a principle of hiding, the level of the Lord, the level of Elohim, which will be encompassed by the Gevura of the Holy Ancient One, which is dressed in the crown that brings out these letters, these spheres. Therefore, the name Avaya, the 10 spheres, can be accepted and settled by the receivers, which is us. If it was pure infinite, we wouldn't be able to get it. And to understand how this works, the superiority of light from dark, from hiding and contraction of the infinite, you have to have darkness first, and then a revelation of light. The souls in the world of Atzilus are called daughters of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a construct of 2 words, which means complete fear, complete awe. For them, nothing exists. This is the souls in the world of Atzilus, the daughters of Jerusalem. Nothing exists except for godliness. But the souls that descend like us to be dressed in an animal soul and a physical body develop a thirst and a hunger for godliness that they're missing by being here. They can't be the daughters of Jerusalem. They can't be in the world of Atzilus. They can't be completely involved and nullified to Hashem. They have to come down here and be in the physical world in an animal soul. But they reach a higher level than those souls, than those daughters of Jerusalem. And they call to those daughters, I am soiled, but I'm beautiful. Soiled by being dressed in the physical world in an animal soul, but I'm beautiful in the fact that I can reach higher than you, daughters of Jerusalem. I can reach all the way up to Hashem himself. I reach up to the level of the hiding of the supernal crown. And that's hiding of the supernal crown indicates the essential hiddenness of Hashem. That's what a soul dressed in an animal soul in this physical world can reach. Like it says, he hides in the dark, meaning he is completely higher than revelation. And those souls who have to get mixed up and dirtied up in physicality, where they forget godliness, through this great thirst that they develop, become beautiful because they can reach up and connect and unify with Hashem himself. That's an amazing opportunity we have by being down here. To understand more clearly how the 10 spheros of Atzilus, the name Avaya, what you're looking out on the screen, emerge from the darkness of the supernal crown, the level of Elohim, the hidden brain of that crown. Like it says, from myself, I will know Hashem. From our own attributes, we'll comprehend something of the supernal man in which Hashem dresses himself in order to connect with us. The level of Hashem's desire for these 10 spheres of Atzilus, where they're completely hidden, is called the hidden brain of Hashem's desire, that Mochen Stama Varachantu. In a person, that level is called, Marvin, what's that level in the person? Do you know? The Koach, huh?
Yeah, and a person that's the the top of his desire that connects to his will, to his tainug, his what do you call it?
Almost, it's called koach hamaskil,
There you go.
the power of producing chachma. And the way it works is the brain. In the brain, there are three sections. There's the right brain, there's the wisdom brain. It is the vessel to hold the light of wisdom. The left brain is the understanding brain. It's the vessel to understand that wisdom. And the back brain is the das brain. It's the ability to bond to either the wisdom or the understanding. But higher than the brain, there's a covering, a membrane of some kind. And higher than that membrane is some kind of moisture. Whether it's a gaseous moisture, a spiritual moisture, a actual wet moisture, depending what level of the person you're looking at. And in there is seated this power to generate wisdom, called the Koach HaMaskil. And that will be parallel in the supernal man to this level of the hidden brains of the godly desire for the 10 spheres of Bitzalel. And that Koach HaMaskil, that power to generate wisdom, and how it is in Hashem, the power to generate the 10 spirits of the world of Atzilus, is a Heyuli power. It can generate any kind of wisdom, and infinite different kinds of wisdom. For example, my hand has the power to move. And my hand can move in an infinite number of ways. There's no specific programming on my hand of a move 3 inches this way and 5 inches that way. No, I have the power to move any way that I want. So too, the hidden brain that's not revealed, that's higher than these 10 spheres of Bitzalel, can reveal itself to many different kinds of wisdom. But my power to move any way that I want to, in order to make a specific move, has to be hidden. So that I make a specific move. So too Hashem has the power to generate whatever he wants, but he has to hide that power to generate whatever he wants in order to generate this, what he wants, this specific 10 spheros of the world of Atzilus, so that he can connect with us, because he has a great desire and a pleasure in connecting with us. To explain the dynamic of that name, Elohim, that name which is hiding, and how it comes from the hidden brains of the level of the godly crown, which are hidden through the holding back power of the Holy Ancient One. First, we'll explain in general how the name Elohim, which is going to be here, the lower hay, you see the last hay of the name Havaya, which is called Malchus, and how that will hide on the name Havaya. Because from there will be created the separate worlds, not the world of Atzilus, the worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, which feel themselves to exist separately. This world of Atzilus, these 10 spheres, don't feel separate from Hashem. Like my hand doesn't feel separate from me, it's just part of me. But any move I make, anything that I accomplish, that thing is outside of me. So too, the created worlds are outside of the revealed godliness. They feel separate from God. And how is it that there could be a thing that's separate, feels separate from Hashem? That's from Malchus of Bitzalel, which will be called the name Elohim, on that level, the name that hides. The sun has a shield that protects us from the strength of the rays of the sun. I don't know if science has discovered it, but in any case, the object of the metaphor is that the name Elohim, this Malchus of Bitzalel, is the attribute of holding back. It's a shield which holds back on the infinite light that's revealed from the Shem Havaya. So that limited creations could exist. Because if infinite was revealed, there could be no other existence. If the infinite light was revealed without the shield of Malchus, think of the sun falling to the earth. There would be no earth left. But since there's this shield holding back on this infinite revelation, that name Havaya, which is an infinite light, like a huge spiritual sun that shines with infinite light, it needs a shield in order for us to connect with it. And it can work to give life and bring into being limited creation. A limited creation could be like the Milky Way, but it's limited. Creatures that are seemingly separate from the infinite. Our world appears to be separate from God. And how is it that an infinite light could bring separate worlds into being? Through this shield called the name Elohim. And this limiting aspect of Hashem's work in creation is called Elohim. It has limits, it has rules, it's what we call nature. It's really Hashem working through the shield of Elohim. That's Hashem's attribute of contraction and hiding on its lower level, not the level we're talking about where it's higher than this name, the level where it's lower than this name that comes out from the lower hay. And like in the metaphor of the sun, if the ray of godly force can spread out so far as to enliven the vast panoply of creations, of physical and spiritual creations, like it says, to his hosts, there is no number. Just look up in the sky and you'll see the truth of that. Even though each host is limited, each host has 10,000 times 10,000 troops. That's probably 1 million. But to the hosts, there's no number. Look up in the sky. And all these are enlivened only from a ray of the godly sun of Havaya, of Zerampin, of this book, which is already a low level in the world of Atzilus, but its infinite ray enlivens everything. But it can't enliven if it would be revealed, like the sun coming down to the earth. It can only enliven through the hidingness that's expressed through this lower hay. Now, since the ray from this Havaya can enliven all these thousands and millions and trillions of creatures, how much more so how it is in its source in the godly sun, that ray, how it is in the godly sun. But there, that godly life force is considered nothing. It's considered a zero, like the ray of the sun when it's in the flame of the sun. There ain't no ray there. Completely nullified to the body of the godly sun, like a ray in its source in the flame of the sun. Now, the source of this ray of godly enlivening energy, the coming out of this powerful ray must come through a contracting curtain through the shield called the name Elohim. So that's how we see that even on the level of the world of Atzilus, how Hashem to the name Elohim shields everything from the infinite. And that's how the godly life force can be dressed into individual limited creations. And it's in there in such a hidden and contracted way, they can feel that they exist separately from that ray. They don't feel that what's enlivening them is God. They feel like they're alive. And that is the trick and the beauty of the name Elohim, the hiding name. And the spiritual level of the ray of Havaya, which enlivens and brings separate creations into being, is on one hand, not like a ray of the sun, whose property is intense sunlight, which is a revelation similar to its source. The sun shines a ray because it's a shiny thing. But it's how the ray is filtered and separated through the name Elohim. That's what gives everything life. But in truth, on the other hand, the creation is not a separate existence. It's really like a ray inside of the sun, because after all, nothing is outside of Hashem. He's the place of the world. The world is inside him, not he's in the world. So you have two opposite things which are contradictory that are going on at once. You have a creation that feels itself to exist separately, and on the other hand, it's completely included and nullified in the godly light. For example, like a spectrum, like a crystal, you have separate colors coming out of it, but they're all really one light. They're all powered by the same light, and they only exist through that light. And all this is how the Shem Elohim hides on the name Havaya in its lower aspects. But the godly life force itself, Havaya, this Yud Kei Vav Kei, these 10 spheres of Bitzalel, the godly life force that enlivens everything, itself is only a ray and a reflection from its source. In the higher sun of the hidden brains of the godly crown. You can see this little thorn on the top of the Yud, and what feeds into that thorn to give life to the 10 spheres of Bitzalel comes from that hidden brains of the godly crown. And these two levels of hidden and revealed are manifest all the way up to the highest levels of godliness. You guys, should we take a break for a nigga? Yeah, Marvin goes, yeah, man.
Okay.
Hey.
Marvin Avinu, right? Marvin Avinu.
Call it out, Morty.
No, I know.
Why would you
You don't. Go ahead.
what you
Start us off.
Hey, Marvin, I appreciate you coming on
Yeah.
Okay, groovy, rockin' pneumonia. So this dynamic of the hiding and revelation goes all the way up to before what's called the original contraction. Before the original contraction, everything was only infinite light. It is the complete hiding on the infinite light in order to bring a limited revelation of godliness so that we can receive it. And that revelation of godliness, which comes from the complete darkness, is really included and nullified to a higher level of hiding, a higher level of the name Elohim. So too with the hiding of the name Elohim, before and from which the spheros of Atzilus are revealed. Now, we said that there's a level of the hiding of Elohim, which reveals the 10 spheros of Atzilus. Now, before the original Tzimtzum, there was a hiding of Elohim in order to reveal any kind of godliness. Now, on a lower level, there's a hiding of the supernal crown, which is Hashem's desire for a world of Atzilus, in order for a world of Atzilus to be revealed. And the spheres are completely nullified like a ray in the sun, in that level of the godly crown. And to reveal them, there must be a powerful contracting force, which is called the holding back of the Holy Ancient One, until finally going up, the original source from which these levels of godliness are emanated, not just a sun source, all the way up to the original source. But how all these levels of the name Elohim, the hiding, all these levels of the name Avaya are included in Hashem himself, higher than any source of light at all. The essential hiddenness of Hashem, higher and removed even from the highest manifestation of the holy hiding name called Elohim. And what level is that? Anochi, I, the level of Hashem himself, separate from everything. When we speak about the body of the sun as a luminary, it's a source of light. So we say that Hashem is the source of all revelation of light. That's a descriptive term, a particular thing, an ability to shine light. But Hashem has the ability to shine or not to shine. He could do whatever he wants. So that's a higher level than his ability to shine. So the description of Hashem as the source of all light and revelation is a lower level than describing him as able to do whatever he wants, to shine or not to shine. But both of these descriptive levels, his ability to shine light and his ability to do whatever he wants, are only descriptive terms describing powers of Hashem. But Hashem himself, the essence of Hashem, cannot be described. It can't even be imagined. And that's the level of Anochi. I am the Lord your God who took you out of Egypt. His existence is from himself and not from something which precedes him. And there, by Hashem, the sun and the ray and his ability to shine or not to shine and all of his names are all included in his blessed essence, which is one, but not with a countable unity of parts. His ability to shine or not to shine, his names, they're all actually not even individual potentials in his essence. It's just Hashem himself, higher than any power or potential, a simple non-combined essence called Anochi, called I. So how is it possible that a light can be drawn out from a non-combined essence? An essential contraction, an essential hiding. How could you have a light come out? But Hashem can do anything. And how does he accomplish it? Through letters, which are made from his essence. So Yisro, in his higher level, heard all that Elohim did, the essential hiding of Hashem, in bringing out, revealing the 10 spheres of Atzilus. The bringing out means how Hashem brought us out of Egypt. The hiding is the level of Egypt. Egypt means constraints and hiding. And Jethro saw how through the name Havaya, the Lord took us out of Egypt. From the dark, hidden, supernal crown all the way up to the central hidden essence of Hashem. And in order for these spheres of Atzilus, the name Havaya, to come out from their inclusion and nullification, has to be through a contraction. The infinite has to be hidden in order for anything to come out. Even the infinite light of the world of Atzilus. Hiding on a level where they're completely nullified. Similar to the dark part of a candle flame. When you look at a candle burning, you'll see by the wick, there's a dark part that's not shining, which consumes the oil. That light that's next to the wick, that dark light, is not a shining light, it's a consuming light. It consumes the oil, which allows the shining white flame to illuminate. Similarly here, the dark light will be the supernal crown. The power of Hashem's holding back, the power of consuming. And that will allow the godly light to shine. And that consuming light will be parallel to the holding back power of the Holy Ancient One. And the white illuminating light will be the 10 spheres of the world of Atzilus, the Yud-Kei-Vav-Kei, the name of Aya. And the way Hashem hides through Elohim is through vessels, is through the letters. Just like in order to reveal an idea, you need letters. And those letters are the dark light, they're the dark candle. It's called in Aramaic, that's that dark light that consumes the wick, the Bosina the Kartanita, the dark candle, which is the holding back power of the Holy Ancient One, which becomes dressed in the hidden wisdom, which is going to produce the 10 spirits of Bitzalel. You want to do a nigun or should I finish up? It's up to you guys.
Bitzalel,
Yeah?
before they do a niggin, I have an appeal.
You have an opinion? Oh, you have an appeal.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Marvin's got an appeal. Everybody listen up.
Well, first of all,
This will be the holy level of Marvin.
yeah, first of all, I just wanted to say hi to Boris Kashina, who's on there.
Oh, Boris is here.
Hi, Boris.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate you hiding me in Morristown for those 6 months in Boris.
Shalom Aleichem, Boris.
Who is this guy speaking? I don't know who he is. Never talked to him before.
I had to sit and listen to a bunch of the things. It was pretty good, actually. But anyways, what I'd like to say is like this. You know, Bitzalel, you spoke before about the power of movement. You know, the Alter Rebbe says there's two kinds of garments. There's a garment that hides and a garment that reveals. For example, you know, if I'm playing poker and I'm really happy about the cards I have, I mean, not that I would play poker, but let's just say I was, and I wanted to hide the hand I'm making, I would make a straight face like this to not show I'm happy, because I want to hide my essence. I want to hide what my desire is. Or like if I reach for a ketchup and then I pour it on my fries, well, that, you know, that reveals my desire. So that's how the power of movement, I can use the power of movement, you know, my face or my hand in those two different ways to hide or reveal. And, you know, Hashem did a great thing for us. He made us like his power of movement, that we have the ability to hide his desire or reveal his desire in this world. When we do a mitzvah, we reveal Hashem's desire down here. He gave us that special ability that we're like clothing to him. That through what our action, we can reveal his desire and his essence down here. With that said, Bitzalel, I would like to encourage every Jew this week on Shabbos. Hashem gives us the 10 commandments. Go to shul, go to the synagogue, go hear the 10 commandments from God's mouth himself, and hear the Anochi and bring down the Anochi into the Yudki Vavke and through the Elohim to reveal Hashem into this world and bring Moshiach now. And for those who are watching who are not Jewish, they can also be involved. Go look up on asknoah.org. You can go and find information about the 7 Noahide laws, and you too can reveal the essence of Hashem down here in this world.
Yay!
All right.
I agree.
Thank you, Marvin.
What do we got? A niggin from the boys?
You guys, you want to hit us with a jam over there?
Wait, you're missing. What you're missing?
Water in the call. Start again? The top.
Hit it again from the top. Okay. Now,
I have something to say.
to paraphrase and magnify what Marvin was saying, the Jewish soul, which is an actual piece of God, is able to make vessels through Torah and mitzvah. And those vessels reveal not a light of godliness, they reveal Hashem himself, the level of Anochi. How could that level of Anochi, which is higher than being connected to anything outside of Hashem, be revealed? Through the name of Ayah, through the 10 spheres of Bitzalel. And how is it possible that Anochi could come to be Elokecha, to be our God? Through the name of Ayah, we can explain it. First, a short story when the Rebbe Rashab was getting ready to go to the world of truth. And his son was the next Rebbe, the previous Rebbe was kind of upset about it. He told him, I am going to heaven, but the writings I'm leaving here. In other words, he was telling them that he writes himself into his teaching, that he essentially is not leaving. The name Anochi, the letters of the name Anochi is, Hashem says, I write my soul into it and I give it through this writing to be your God. And that writing is manifest in the name of Ayah. How do we see it? The Yud of the name of Ayah, let me share it on the screen. the yud of the name Avaya is the drop of ink on the pen. The hey is the number 5, corresponds to the number 5, is the 5 fingers of the hand that hold the pen. The vav is the pen, and the final hey is the letters on the parchment of the Torah. So Hashem, through Anochi, through the name Avaya, writes himself in to the Torah that he gives us to become our God through that Torah. And that complete revelation of how that's all accomplished, and it's accomplished through our service of making those vessels of Torah and mitzvahs to reveal Anochi, Hashem himself, by making a dwelling place for him. He will be revealed here with us, and that's what he wants. That revelation of Anochi, which is unimaginable, in a perfect way and an eternal way, and it will happen any second. We want Moshiach now. You guys want to take us out with a niggin, or should we do the sign-off?
Where's Boris? Boris, you wanted to say something? Oh, Chaim too, and Boris.
Yes.
We try to be more cool than that over here, Rabbi.
Say something, Boris.
Yes, I wanted to say that I recently found my birth certificate, my Russian birth certificate. I didn't know I had one.
Okay, Chevra, I'm in a little bit of a quandary. What do we say l'chaim on? We say l'chaim on Glen 15, or we say l'chaim on X9 sticker?
On our show, we don't say l'chaim.
Yes.
We keep it for private.
Oh no, I guess it was. So I'm not asking about the say l'chaim now. I'm asking about the say l'chaim on Shabbos. Which one should I say l'chaim?
Oh, on the green.
On the green,
On the
for
green
sure. Green screen all the way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Oh,
Yeah,
Boris.
Boris, say.
Yeah, I just found my birth certificate. I didn't know I had one. I never knew exactly how old I was. It's my Russian certificate, and I thought my name was Krashina, but now I figured out my entire Russian name, official Russian name, was Alex Chris, Dmitry, Felix, Gregory, Igor, Maxim, Nicholas, Sasha, Vladimir, Evgeny Krashina.
Oh wow. Wait, so how old are you? I'm betting on 213.
And every time
Yes,
you
it.
out one of those bureaucratic forms, you have to write your whole name.
No, I always wanted Boris Krashina. I thought my name was Boris Krashina. That's my Hebrew name.
Uh-huh.
My Russian name is much long. Well, I have a friend, his name is Vasily Vaskovich, so people like having long names sometimes in Russia.
Well, I'd like to see that birth certificate sometime.
Hashem should have a bonus on you.
Yes. I'm happy that Marvin and Gimel El were found.
How about the sign off, Niggin?
Okay, I'm going
I'm
to
still
sign
not sure
off.
if Marvin's your Marvin or not.
Hey, God.
Gezintahait, my friend.
Sounds like you're singing Uncle Moshe here.
Okay, Gezintahait.